Hey guys, another check-in.
Hey. Yep.
All right.
We have more to talk about.
Week
So,
2 is
yep,
underway.
week 2 bonus stream. So this is kind of a bonus because we weren't planning it. It just spontaneously happened, as all things do.
Yeah. Yep. How things happen.
Well, update with me.
Yes.
Yeah. So update with me. I finished Bloodguard, so you guys probably see my short. And then I couldn't figure out what to read next because I just want to read Bloodguard because it was so good. So I did a blind date with a book challenge where the wheel chooses what I read. So I put in books there. So if you haven't watched that, go watch it. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Because I ended up choosing Throne of Glass. Which is not what I wanted to read, but it's fine. So I restarted it and I actually have made progress. So I'm on page 20,
Okay.
which
Hold
is chapter
on.
4.
It's
So I'm making progress.
you're slightly robotic at times.
Okay. I don't know what's happening and why. Sorry if I'm robotic, guys.
Okay. I think we're
So
good. I think
hopefully
we're good now.
it's
Yeah.
okay and understandable. I
No,
might have been
it's
talking too fast, but
it's
yeah,
it's
I got
Friday the third.
to
It's
page 20.
it's Friday the 13th. I mean, what else can you expect from tonight?
Yeah, yeah, it happens. But yeah, I'm on page 20, chapter 4, so I'm making progress. And I
Okay.
calculated there's like 50 some odd chapters. So if I do at least 2.5 chapters a day, I should be able to get it done by December because I don't want to like not. Because I also finally set my Goodreads goal for the year. So I've read 19 books this year. So the goal is just to finish one more book, which would be this one. So
Yeah.
that is my update.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
not as bad as I was thinking, but it's
Yeah.
so.
I had to, I mean,
What about you?
I tried to give you a little bit of context into like, she's not just, she's cocky about her abilities because she knows that she has the training to back it up. You just don't see that in Throne of Glass, which kind of irritates me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of why I wish those stories in Assassin's Blade were just a part of Throne of Glass, or you got like flashbacks to those things
Yeah.
because her arrogance seems almost misplaced in Throne of Glass because you don't have that context unless you are like me and read Assassin's Blade first.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And it's
which
just like,
happened because she kind of wrote Assassin's Blade second, so at the time she wrote this,
well,
she
it's
probably
not
didn't
really
know
second.
the context, like, that
It was
happens sometimes.
written um it was kind of it's written like like after book
Because I thought Throne
2.
of Glass was the
It's
first
like
one that she
third.
wrote.
Like she wrote it third,
Yeah.
I think. And so
So, yeah,
and then after
so
book
basically
after
at the
that,
time she
it's
wrote Throne of Glass, she didn't have the context, so
yeah,
that happens.
like Assassin's Blade kind of
So
leads
we've all done it.
like Assassin's Blade introduces characters that will come back into play later. So it's like I can see why people would read that book in the middle of the series because you're introduced to specific characters directly after that. But
Right, yeah. So,
it's just not how my brain
but how
works.
are you doing?
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
making some progress.
you like
Um
chronological order.
yeah. I'm
Yay!
the
We can actually see it now.
yes, all the sticky notes are
I love
just
that.
everything
I was
so
actually
far.
about to say, you have so many sticky notes.
A
Is
lot
that
of
normal? Is that about normal, or is it
um
more than normal?
um there's a lot of like doubled up sticky notes. There was one I actually took a
Okay.
picture.
Yeah.
It was like to remember, an emotional overload, and an unexpected all in one go. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
oh my
gosh.
god.
That's a lot at once.
Yeah, like it's like a triple sticky.
That's funny.
And I'm like, if I show you anything, you
That's
will pick
funny.
up on what's going on. So it's like I can't even show you any of it, but it's like yeah. Um a
Yeah.
lot of to
That's
remember.
crazy.
I'm trying to honestly. It's funny because my brain's now looking for Easter eggs, and it's trying to look for foreshadowing
Hmm.
bits for later on. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
but
All
yeah,
right. Well, let us know in the comments how you guys are doing for your December TBRs so
yeah,
far and
yeah.
what you're reading and if you've gotten anything done or not and if you're still reading. So let us know because we're eager to find out.
Yes.
So I guess you can start. We can go back and forth because you had more, probably a lot more than I do. So I only have three, and one of them's kind of like not that
That's fair.
relevant, but
That's fair. Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna start with I have a couple fourth wing theories or about
Ooh,
the
okay,
upcoming
fourth
book.
one. Yeah,
So
Onyx Storm.
the first one was that, and I didn't realize this. I guess I just didn't really do hear about it. But Tarn and Andarna are based
Mhm.
on Rebecca Yarrow's dogs, and they're like based on her dogs,
Ooh,
inspired by her dogs. But the thing
right.
here's the thing. Her eldest dog passed away.
Oh no.
So the question is, what if Tarn dies, but because Violet's bonded to Andarna, Violet doesn't die?
I've actually already thought that. When I was reading Iron Flame,
Uh
my
huh.
suspicion is that one of the big dramatic points could be that Tarn dies and everybody thinks Violet's gonna die. Big epic dramatic point, but she survives only because she has a Darna as well.
Mm-hmm. But
So
then
I've
that
already
brings
thought that and
then it
suspected
brings
that.
the question of what happens to Xaden in that sense. I've always wondered.
I don't think that far. I
Well,
didn't
am
think
I
that far
well,
into
and
it.
it's like in my
Yeah,
head, like at the beginning of all the chapters, you're seeing like there's times where it's like quotes from Violet Sorngale to so and so or Xaden, to Violet, and it's like
yeah.
correspondence between these people, and it's like almost as if it's coming from like a history book, and I'm like, it makes me think that they're
I
no
wonder if
longer
that's gonna
there,
tie in.
and I'm like, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I saw in an interview where she talks about how she likes happy endings. And then everyone's throwing up a spoiler alert. Everybody throws up the fact that Liam does not have a happy ending. and, and she's like, I love happy
Yeah, like
endings.
what
And it's
happy ending,
like,
Rebecca Yarrow?
yeah, it's been an honor.
But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting because the thing is with Xaden in that scenario, if
Mm-hmm.
Taryn dies, we think Violet could survive because of Adarna, but Taryn is dead, which means his mate dies,
Yeah.
which means that Xaden could potentially die. However, I don't know if she's actually going to do a
Or,
main character death. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
Because Liam would still
question.
cannon fodder. Yep.
Or does the fact that spoiler, that he's Venin prevent him
Make
from
him
dying?
survive. And he
But,
loses what's your face?
uh huh.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Okay.
hope you cry.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, that's our theory, guys. We're
That's
calling it here. We'll check back
I don't
in
know.
in
I don't want that
February.
to happen though. I don't want anyone
I
to
know.
die.
I think
But
it'd be
it's like
fun. I don't know. I'm a psychopath. What
we
can I
must
say?
do we do what must be done, Lord Vader. Do not hesitate. Show no
Do not hesitate
mercy.
to go. No, must be.
Do what must be
We could
done, Rebecca
literally keep
Yarrow.
going, but that's funny.
Do what must be done, Rebecca Yarrow. Do not hesitate. Show no mercy.
No, no mercy. Don't say that. She may actually not show mercy.
Oh god. Okay. Did you have
Uh,
one?
Yeah, okay, so this is the lesser exciting one, but it
Okay.
just talked about how Netflix is doing a adaptation of one of the best books ever written, and it's like I don't know if it's like 50. It was first published in 1967 and it's been translated into 46 languages, 50 million copies. I got to find the book title. Hold on.
Hmm.
Um it's been on the greatest book list of the best books since 1900. What is
Hmm.
the actual title, please? 100 Years of Solitude is the title of it.
100 years of
And
solitude.
it's getting a Netflix adaptation. So we were talking about book to movie
Oh,
adaptations
yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
So it's like they're adapting kind of an older one.
Hmm.
Um but it's like one of the best. It's still considered one of the best books
I
ever
feel like
written. So
it sounds like it's one of those books that's considered a classic, but because I was just like I just didn't read the classics because they were too hard to comprehend when I was younger, that I have no idea what it is. And I feel very
yeah,
uncultured by saying that, but it's like
I'm
I'd
right
have
with
to
there
look
with
it up
you.
because I haven't ever heard of that one, so I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, a Reddit user actually said that it's the best book I've ever read. Um so it's apparently like really popular, I guess. I don't really know what it is. Yeah, that's pretty much it's just but it's like Netflix is notorious for like not doing they're doing
Yeah.
adaptations even worse than average ones.
Yeah.
And so I've actually watched one of the Christian YouTubers that I watch, she reviewed their version of Mary, like Mary, Mother of Jesus.
Oh.
Like they did a
Yeah.
movie adaptation of that. Um, it was something else, according to
Mhm.
what she said. She broke the whole movie down. So, and we've known they did like they did Bridgerton, and in Bridgerton is a historical like TV show, and that includes the Queen Charlotte from England, Queen Charlotte of
Yeah.
England,
Yeah.
and they made her African American, which is not, a problem, but like and a lot of the historical details were just off.
Yeah.
And then they have done Cleopatra, and it wasn't very historical, and they did Alexander the Great, which wasn't very historical from what I've heard. So
Yeah. There's a lot of
they don't do
controversy
adaptations
around
very
those.
well.
Yeah. So it's like got to take it with
Yeah.
a grain of
So
salt and see what happens. Sometimes they make a banger,
yeah.
sometimes they don't. So it's just kind of like
Yeah.
sad,
But
but
see, my opinion on adaptations, though, because we talked about this the other day, and
yeah.
how sometimes it's like you do it bad. But for me, when it comes to the classics, I kind of like it because adapting something that's very, very old for a more modern audience, as long as you're honoring the original,
Yeah.
could actually be a good thing. Because the average person, how many young people or people our age or younger are going to go back and actually read the classics? How many
Yeah.
people read anyway, much less reading classics? Like that's
Yeah.
even less.
Honestly,
So for me,
genuinely,
I
yeah.
kind of like adapting the classics
Yeah,
as
I do
long as
too.
you're honoring them.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right, your turn.
So this next one is another fourth wing one. It was kind of I was kind of hesitant about sharing it, so I just kind of was gonna read it off of the TikTok. It's by Originally Urban is the page that I saw it on.
Okay.
But the first part says Violin will be part of the Empyrean, which is the dragons. And it says the
Yeah.
series is called the Empyrean because it's about Violet's journey as the first human to be a part of the Empyrean. There are many clues to this. Violet is told by a Venin that she can control the sky and doesn't know it. Empyrean means the sky. Violet's father may have saved her from dragon Feathertail blood, making her part dragon and able to be part of the Empyrean. I
Huh.
don't know.
That's an interesting theory, but
It seems a
it
little
seems
I
far
don't
fetched.
know. Yeah, it seems far fetched enough that it feels almost like a fanfic idea.
Yeah. To me, I don't mind voicing theories before something comes out because I still think it's
Yeah,
fun. So even if it's
that's
like
true.
if somebody has like a dumb
That's
theory
true.
or theory
That's
that's
true.
not very likely,
And I
it's still
don't
fun to just be
and
like,
I don't
well,
want
what if this?
yeah. And I don't want let me clarify when I said that. Like I don't mean that as an insult. Like I love fan fictions.
Yeah.
Like that drove my like that was a majority of my reading like
Yeah.
as a high
I think
schooler. You know, it's like
some of us started off on like
yeah,
Wattpad. Okay.
yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't mean that as an insult. I just mean that I don't
It's not
see
like a canon, like a
it's one of those
viable.
things that would be really cool to see, but I don't see that being something that Rebecca would write. But at the same time, she wanted
Well,
her to
there is
have she wanted
something.
her to well like something to think of too is that her I think I saw an interview where her publishers wanted her to only have one dragon um instead of two, wanted her to have the smaller dragon, I think, and
Right.
she wanted to have Tarn, so she chose both. And so it's like making her slight in my eyes I could see her as possibly being a little OP, but since she has a lot of the health problems that kind of balances that out. So it's like I this doesn't seem as far fetched as what you would think when you put all the other factors into place. So it's like
Mhm.
you know, I could see that
Yeah.
being a
Well, see
thing.
where my mind went with it and why I see some credibility to just in
Yeah.
general. It is called the Empyrean series, and the Empyrean, while it's there, it's not very important
Yeah.
yet.
And that's where it's
And
like, why
so
would you name the entire yeah,
the series title has to come into play to
that's
some
true.
importance at some point. It's probably
That's
not going to be
true.
Violet being part of it, but it
No,
does need to
yeah.
be important. So
Well,
there's some truth to
my theory is that um I saw it was another one. Where is that at? I saved another one somewhere.
that.
And it was made the
Yeah,
comment, yeah, it was like um there was a quote in one of the books about how something killed off the venin 600 years ago during the Great War. And it's quoted. It says, something killed the Venom 600 years ago during the Great War, and we are actively searching for that weapon or something. I don't know if it's like actual quote or if it's person's paraphrasing.
Mhm.
And then the next bit is a quote
Yeah,
from, spoiler alert for Iron Flame, by the way.
you're getting better.
And then there's another quote from Andarna when she reveals that she's a Feathertail. She's like, I have been waiting 650 years to hatch. It was why I was left behind, at least from what I can remember. It has been centuries. And so, like, the thought of, like, maybe Andarna is the Feathertail is the key to healing or getting rid of the venom. And it's like
Yeah, that could be.
that could also be how the maybe Violet has to go before the Empyrean to get approval for something for Violet for Andarna
Yeah,
and her to go do something. You know, like there, I don't know, the possibilities are
yeah.
endless
Some
on
connection
that.
with the Empyrean
Yeah,
being
but
brought into play.
that brought up the whole the years thing, which would make sense. Like if the Venom were destroyed once 600 years ago, and they've been trying to find that weapon, only for Andarna to say that she's been waiting 650 years to hatch. It's like,
The timing kind of adds up.
yeah, definitely adds up. So
Kind of makes sense.
there must be
Oh, okay.
something to that.
Must be something to that. Yeah, the
Yeah,
timing has to make sense somehow.
yeah,
Okay, so my next one is breaking it down. Book Talk's most anticipated book releases of 2025, from Onyx Storm to Hunger Games prequel. So I'll have a link to the article in the description below. We'll add it later, especially when I re-release this one.
mm-hmm,
So we're just gonna go through these real quick. So, Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales.
hmm,
Apparently it's the third and final book of her thing. So Onyx Storm obviously is the third book in the Empyrean series by Rebecca
yeah,
Yarros. It's coming out January 21st. So that's probably going to be on our February TBR.
mm-hmm,
There's Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. It's a romance author, coming out in February. There's Rebel Witch, which is the second book in the Crimson Moth series by Kristen Ciccarelli or Cricolelli. Sorry, I'm butchering her name.
no, I gotcha.
Sunrise on the Reaping, which is Suzanne Collins, which is coming out March 18th. So that's one of our anticipated ones.
Mm-hmm,
Um, because it's Haymitch's games, right? And then they're adapting
yeah,
it into a movie eventually. So we're
yeah,
excited to read the book before the movie comes out.
mm-hmm,
Fearless by Lauren Roberts is the third book of the Powerless series, which I've been interested in that one. So Emily Henry is coming out with another one, which I have been wanting to read Emily Henry for a while. That's contemporary romance. So The Great Big
yeah,
Beautiful Life. I've heard her books are pretty good for, like, if you're gonna get into and ever try
yeah,
romantic rom-com kind of stuff, like modern day romances, then Emily Henry's probably the one to start with.
mm-hmm. Okay.
A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, which I did want to say something. The titles for fantasy books are starting to shift where they're like
You can't tell
long
if
and
they're
kind of drawn out like
contemporary.
that.
Yeah, you can't tell if they're
Yeah,
contemporary or not. That's what throws me off. Because there was one about
yeah,
tea, like pirates and tea, and I'm like,
yeah. They're like, it's
I'm
kind of like
like,
the
oh,
cozy
eh,
fantasy genre. It's starting to
yeah,
rise.
yeah,
So then A Curse Carved in Bone. I think that's the second one, the Viking one that
yeah.
you had showed me and that
Oh,
I wanted to look. That one, it looks like the second book to that, but I could be wrong.
gotcha.
Bury Our Bones in Midnight Soil by Victoria E. Schwab.
Ooh,
Accomplice to the Villain, which is the third book in the Assistant to the Villain series. I didn't know that was going to be a 3 book, so I'm
oh,
excited. I really want to read the first one, so
yeah.
that one actually sounds pretty good. The Ballad of Falling Dragons by Sarah A. Parker. That one looks really good. That one's coming out in October, so that one's going to be a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Quicksilver Book 2. Apparently the title and the exact date haven't been announced, but I really want to read Quicksilver, so the fact that it's already got a sequel planned for 2025,
Yeah,
pretty exciting. Hopefully Quicksilver is going to be good. So we've got a few on there that we're looking forward to.
yeah,
So again, I'll have a link in the description of the actual video if you guys want to check out the article for yourself. I wish
yeah,
they'd put the blurb, like a log line or a blurb for some of them on there, but
yeah. No, I get that.
uh, yep.
Also, side note, I clicked the button to try to see if something would work, and it did not work, and it completely took away our picture for like 5 seconds. So ignore
Okay.
that.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
good.
Okay, we're good. I'm still working.
We're
the
still learning.
gray the
We're
gray
still growing.
bar the gray bar on the left side is driving me nuts, just so you know.
Oh,
Future watchers of the
I can't
VOD.
see what
It
she's
is
seeing,
drive
by the way.
it's driving
Just
me
for reference,
nuts.
I'm in Discord.
And I'm like
Just for reference, I'm
like
in Discord, so
I
I can't see it, so I have no idea what's going on.
yeah, it's not bad. It's just a gray line on the left side, but it's like
Yeah,
it's never been there
driving you
before,
insane.
like ever. But since it's Friday the 13th, it just has to be on the screen.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm
We've
sorry. I'm done.
honestly had some weirdly we had a lot more technical difficulties than we used to for this for some reason. So just
I
saying, your turn.
Friday the 13th and a full moon. It's a thing at schools. People don't believe me, but it is legit thing. There's way
That's
more
funny.
behavior issues on full moons and Friday the 13th than what you people would realize. So it's
Maybe
like,
they're all secretly werewolves. I mean,
who knows? Okay, that would explain some things. Anyway, all right. So there's never a dull moment in middle school. It's just,
yeah,
teenagers being introduced to hormones and drama and boyfriends and breakups and
gotta love it.
weird memes and children asking me to play Fiend. And I'm like, I'm not listening to this dumb song. I'm not listening to it. No, you can't
Oh
make
my
me.
god.
Oh my God. Sorry. I will stop ranting eventually. This is just me
Yep.
derailing everything. Okay. All right. I have one ACOTAR theory this time. I promise my
Okay.
whole world doesn't revolve around ACOTAR, but my phone thinks it does.
Kind of
So
seems like it. I'm just kidding.
my
You're
phone
good.
thinks it does. So it's like it's starting to show me clips of both of Throne of Glass and ACOTAR crossovers, and I'm not done with the last book yet. So I'm like, stop,
You're like,
stop
stop
it,
it.
no,
I know. I keep getting
no.
Outlander. Outlander season 7, the final season that's out. Spoilers. I'm like, stop it.
Oh my
I
God,
don't want to
shame.
know that she's marrying somebody else besides Jamie.
Oh my God. Yeah, all
Spoiler for
right.
Outlander season 8, by the way.
See, look who's saying spoiler after now. It's not just me. All right, so
You're rubbing off
ACOTAR,
on me.
ACOTAR, yeah, I'm a bad influence. Okay, so it says Reese's sister and Asriel are endgame couple. Was the tagline. Said one comment. It said made a comment that they thought that Asriel and Reese's sister, who's just mentioned, are actually a couple, and that his sister's not actually gone. And
Ooh, what's this? I don't
one
remember
comment
anything about his sister.
yeah, I thought it was mentioned at some point, maybe. I'll have to look it up here
Mm-hmm.
in a minute. But one comment, so the actual person didn't give a lot of context, but there's somebody in the comments that made the point that Elaine said at one point that she's not gone, she's just changed. And a lot of people were assuming it was, they said Vasa, I don't know, Vassa. Do you remember that character? My brain's drawing a blank.
No, I don't. To be honest, I really don't.
I need to reread
So,
those at some point. But
yeah.
it was saying that they thought it was referencing one character, but it could actually be referencing Reese's sister and how she's not dead, she's just changed. And that Asriel, and it also highlighted the quote that we used about his mate being dead. It quoted the original girl quoted that quote there, that you would feel it in your
Okay.
heart, whatever.
Huh.
So I don't know. I'm just
That's
trying to find
interesting.
any theory that has as real with somebody other than Elaine,
Yeah,
not
Elaine.
Elaine,
Elaine.
Elaine,
Elaine.
Elaine. That other
Yeah,
character, so that other person's somebody else that you don't know about yet. So yeah,
yeah.
I need to be careful.
I've
Anyway,
heard I've heard that she's some sort of character in Throne of Glass, but I don't know. Whoops.
yeah,
Sorry, I'm not. Turns out if you pull your phone cord, it's gonna pull the phone with it. Just saying,
yeah,
in
that
case
kind of
you
happened.
didn't know that little tidbit.
Okay,
Um,
did
but
you
yeah,
have?
so I don't know. I like the concept that his sister's still alive, but I just don't
Yeah.
remember her. Like, I don't remember the story about her or how she went missing, but I kind of like that. Again, anything with Asriel not being with Elaine, I'm gonna be down for, you know. So,
Okay. It says Reese's sister was the daughter of the former High Lord of the Night Court. Um, Was the daughter of the former High Lord of the Night Court.
Okay.
She was half Fae, half Illyrian, like her brother Rhysand. That doesn't say a whole lot. It says
Yeah.
it's
Was she killed
mentioned.
when his family was
Okay,
killed?
it's mentioned in Mist and Fury, Wings and apparently she's mentioned in Mist and Fury, Wings and Ruin, Frost and Starlight. In um um, I think I unintentionally saw a spoiler.
Oh God! What spoiler? For you've
Uh,
read the whole series.
no, for Crescent City.
What?
Well,
I
I
need to
didn't.
know.
I just saw it that what books that character was mentioned in.
Oh, okay. So she's mentioned in the Crescent City
Okay,
series.
it's not really a spoiler because somebody told
Say
me
it.
that.
I can't take it. I don't care.
Okay, somebody told me apparently she's mentioned in the third Crescent City. Apparently, is what it's saying. Spoiler to anyone
Oh,
else that I know, but I already. But
apparently we've all been spoiled.
the reason why I've been so big on getting through a Throne of Glass and to start Crescent City is because I know there's Easter eggs that tie all the books together.
Yeah, and
There's
we want to
there
know how they're all tied together.
especially in the newest one, apparently there's Easter egg. This is the one that puts apparent I'm thinking that that one was the one supposedly that has enough Easter eggs that connect all the books. Because I there's things that I'm suspecting could possibly be connections that I'm seeing right now, but I'm not seeing any definite like connections. But apparently that one is the one that connects them all, apparently.
Oh
Apparently.
my gosh, I want to know. I need to get through that, but I'm currently all the way back at book 1. So,
But in this particular the Court of Thorn and Roses fandom.com, the wiki thing, apparently it says
okay.
that she's deceased.
Okay. Interesting. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. I'll have to go back and like reread the Akatar series at some point, or at least to catch the parts where she's
You know
mentioned
what
or
I
whatever.
completely skipped over?
What?
There's a big yellow box at the very top of this article that says, "Warning, this article contains spoilers for the House of Flame and Shadow."
You completely skipped over that.
I did that
Okay.
preparing for a job interview once at a school district. I was like I'm going to look over their website. I'm going to know all the details of all these family events that they're doing and all this stuff. And they asked me about their school motto, and I can't answer the question at all. And I'm like I had to admit that I was looking into it. I was doing some research on the website and I just didn't get the chance to read it. Guess where it was at?
Where?
The
Oh
very top of
no.
the homepage. I didn't
Oh
get that job, by the
my god.
way.
It makes it seem like you were lying about that.
But I genuinely didn't see it. And this is proof. It literally, like all the other boxes are white, right? White and then black, like
Yeah.
purple and white and reddish writing, right? It's the only
Okay.
box that's in surround, like outline of yellow. And it has warning, exclamation point. And even the name House of Flame and Shadow is written in red with everything else white. How do I miss this?
No, no.
I
Oh
just
my
need to get off
gosh.
the internet. This is a sign. I'm going to become
Yes.
a hermit and live under a rock, and this is just the end. This is it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay. Do
So
you have
my
an
last
your last one?
yeah,
Okay.
my last article is about George R. R. Martin again, and
Okay.
it's kind of another take on the fact that he may not finish the last books and stuff, but it's got some extra little tidbits.
Okay.
Um okay, where okay. It was also talking about how like how much he doesn't really like the TV adaptations or whatever, which again was
Yeah.
something we were touching on the other day.
Yeah.
So apparently it says every single year he releases at least one update about his writing,
Yeah.
because he started writing it
Mhm.
in okay, hold on, where was it? It was 2010.
Yeah.
So The Winds of Winter has been started. He started writing this book in 2010. So
Okay.
it has been 13 years. So 11 chapters of it has been published as a sample or read publicly. But and then every year he gives an update, but this person is basically saying that his updates have kind of gotten less and less more interesting.
Mhm.
Um and then um basically in September he said that he completed some new pages, and that's literally all he said. And that he said in 2024, like his um where was it at? I'm too far. So like that he was busy doing the TV show stuff that had
Mhm.
nothing to do with Game of Thrones. And so that's kind of what's been, quote, keeping him busy in the, yeah. He claimed that his television projects ate up most of the first half of 2024.
Hmm.
So it's kind of just like a new,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
they
and
were also saying maybe it's just a pipe dream. And then maybe Martin is also like lying, so
yeah,
that way it's more exciting when the release date is announced,
I
so
could
he
see
could be
that.
downplaying it and
Yeah.
not doing a whole lot of
Yeah.
information,
Well,
but
and
it's
he
kinda
could
like
be
one of those
he
things.
could be playing into this persona of him taking years upon years upon years to finish it.
True, that's
But
true.
and it's one thing that's crossed my mind, and I don't mean this like I don't mean this in a mean way, but he's older.
Yeah.
He's becoming a senior. And it's like,
Yep.
how cruel, like, if a fan base, because I'm not a part of this fan base, I mean, really, I would be interested at some point to possibly read them, but it's just not my cup of tea. I'm not,
Yeah.
medieval stuff. Sometimes I may get kind of, ooh, inspired to read a book series or something, but it's like, for the most part, my head's fully in fantasy right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, but if you truly love a fandom, and the books that this writer is writing, then in
Mhm.
my eyes, you should have enough respect for this man to be at peace with what he's given you. If you get a new book, you get a new book. And but I even saw a video. I saw a video earlier, and what's triggering this with me to say this is because like they were essentially laughing
Mhm.
at all these comments that people were making, essentially going on about I was taking him forever and making jokes or making comments about it, how it's taken him so long, and it's like have her like be appreciative for the books that you did get. If you
Yeah.
get another book, that's fantastic. But he's in his 70s.
He's 70 something.
Like
I don't
he's
remember.
literally a
Yeah.
76 year old. I think it was 76. He's like he's a
Yeah.
70-some-year-old man. Like
Mhm.
my grandma just turned 80 this year. I wouldn't want
Yeah.
people pestering her about writing a book at her age. Don't pester
Yeah.
him. Be
I
respectful and
know.
let him live his life. And if he gets inspired to finish writing it, or if that's one that wants him, if that's what he wants his like, and he even said people are writing my obituary and I'm still doing fine. He's like, people are acting like I'm gonna die tomorrow and not finish this. Like, let
That's what
him,
makes me
and it's like
what hurts me.
let him be young. Let him feel young.
Yeah.
Let him enjoy his
Well, to me,
life
it's, like,
and not
so
try to
rude
rush his death.
to
And
Can
I'm
you
like,
okay, take a like, imagine just writing an obituary for just an older person in any other industry,
yeah,
like, doing some sort of job, like, just the idea that you're anticipating somebody's
mm-hmm,
death, whether they're just because
yeah,
they're old and up there
yeah,
in age, is
yeah.
so rude, and, like, I can't even it's just, like and it's not
I
a
know.
joke, and like you said, it's up to him, and part of me was like, as a writer, I'm kind of interested in why he's so slow, like, I wanna know
Yeah,
his process,
yeah,
'cause it's like if you get to write once a week or once a month, you know, how is it taking you 10 years? But then he may be, you know, doing a lot of edits and changes. But then I remembered that some of my books that I've left unfinished, there's one that I started a couple years ago that I just dabble in when I have the inspiration and then I don't touch it and I come back to it.
yeah,
So it could be one of those situations where he just touches on it when he gets inspired.
yeah.
So and I did hear one story that in one of the earlier books, spoiler alert for one of the Game of Thrones books. So if you haven't read them or anything, spoiler alert. But the Red Wedding, you all know what that is. If you know, you know. He actually said that he went on and wrote the rest of it, like the aftermath of the Red Wedding, afterwards because he couldn't write the initial scene. Because
Yeah.
basically it's like a dinner and it was supposed to be peaceful, and the main characters went in there and basically everybody gets slaughtered. And it's
Mm.
like the biggest
Yeah.
twist of
Yeah.
book history,
Yeah.
TV show history, whatever you want to call it. And so he didn't actually write the Red Wedding until later. Like he actually wrote
Oh,
the
okay.
aftermath of the Red Wedding,
First,
because it
yeah.
was probably just a hard scene to write or whatever.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's I read
I
that. I
think
don't
it
know
would
where
be
I read
too.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it may be a lot of, and then this is toward the end of the series, so there could be a lot of heavy stuff. And he's really big on like research, and he
Mhm.
does like racial like languages and stuff. So there could be a lot of aspects to this book
Yeah,
that
that's
just is
true.
taking him a while to get through. And especially if he a lot of the the short films he was working on was for his friend who
Mhm.
died. So his focus,
Yeah.
he's could be just a busy guy.
Well, and I think it would be pretty because you remember how there was like a an interview that Steffi Meyer did that she said made a
Hmm.
comment that it would be hard for her to go back and it was really hard for her to go back and write Midnight Sun because she felt so restricted to what happened in Twilight. And I know that's
Yeah,
Twilight that's not nearly on the level of the writer that we're talking about. But
yeah,
if you look at it from the perspective of this dumb company went ahead and continued the seasons on without him, no wonder it's taking him 13 years to write it. Like
yeah.
he's having to go like write in contradiction with what this what was his series is now turned into. And it's like I could see why
That would
I
confuse
wouldn't
me
even
honestly.
like I wouldn't even want to finish the series. I don't blame him for taking 13 years. They
Yeah,
don't
like
have
I would
enough
have a hard
respect
time separating that.
they don't have enough respect to wait on him, so it's like why should he
Yeah,
cater to them when they had no respect to wait or to go to
I
him?
know.
I'm like,
Yeah,
tough love,
and like
man.
for me, and even when you think about it, like I started the Calamity's Hope series, it was like 2021 or 2022.
Yeah.
I haven't finished Flood yet, and I came up with that idea in 2020, and I
Mhm.
have the rest of the series planned, but I haven't touched them yet because my inspiration's just not there. So sometimes you just got to wait for the inspiration to hit. So,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, those were all of mine. So,
Okay. Last one I've got, just some little bit of news. Rebecca Yarrow posted a video of her like moving into her new office, and she was talking about how there's one book left that she hadn't put on her shelf, and like she had the physical copy of Onyx Storm, and she slid it in and placed it on the bookshelf next to the other two. It was smaller than Iron Flame, and people started to panic. And so she commented and responded to them. And she commented to the responses that it was somebody was like, "Is it shorter? This it looks shorter than Iron Flame. Should I be concerned?" And she commented back and essentially said that Onyx Storm is about 10K shorter than Iron Flame, but still 25K longer than Fourth Wing. Now, with your author brain, what does that tell you? Because I'm genuinely curious.
so it's longer than Fourth Wing, but shorter than Iron Flame, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is my take. Keep in mind, I don't know Rebecca Yarros, could be totally different, but for me, that indicates less fluff than Iron Flame and a faster pace.
Ooh.
Because Iron
Okay.
Flame had a lot of, for my opinion, it had a lot of slower points.
Yeah,
So to
I
me, it
could see
almost
that.
indicates that all the slow points are
A
now
lot of
gone
building.
and
It
there's
was a
less
lot of
for slow
building.
points.
Yeah.
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 So it seems
Mm.
like it's going to be faster pace with less slow points and less fluff,
Ooh, okay.
in my opinion, which is a
Okay.
good thing because I did feel
I'm
like
glad
that
I
was my
put
one
that one.
critique for Iron Flame.
I almost didn't put that in there, and I'm glad I put that in there
Oh
because I'm
my
like,
gosh, dude.
yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah. I may be wrong, but that's just me.
Yeah. No, I like that. Cool. All right.
Cool.
That's all I had, unless you had
That's all
something else you
I
wanted to bring
had.
up.
So,
All right. Another week down in December, and I'm not
yep,
nearly as far as I want to be to this in December.
I know.
But
I
I'm making
my
decent
biggest
progress, so I just need to keep making
my hope
progress.
my hope was to listen to the audiobook because it's only 13 hours long. And so I'm like, for me, it feels like I could get it done faster with the audiobook's help, but
Yeah.
I can't stand her voice for the characters, for the guys. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's because I'm used to the dramatized audiobook or whatever, but the prince, I feel like he's going to be an important character. And I just can't stand the way she does his voice,
Yeah.
and it ruins my opinion of him.
Yeah.
And so I need to get
I
his
think
voice
you
back. And so
need
that's when I started reading
yeah.
myself.
I think you need to
But there's
get
no dramatized audiobook,
I
so I
think
don't know.
I think you need to get the characters established in your head before you go into the audiobook.
Makes sense. So I may come back to the audiobook because y'all
Yeah.
know I tried this before and that was my game plan this time is to use the audiobook to help me. And so I feel like I've lost my helping buddy.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um but yeah, we'll see. So and I went ahead and did get the audiobook for Crown of Midnight too. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I thought I did. But anyways, so yeah,
Sounds
we'll
good.
see. I did tell you this, but I didn't tell this in an update. Selena, I can never
Selena.
get her name
Sure.
right. Selena.
Selena.
Um,
Yep.
I'm not. I don't. It's like I have a slightly better opinion of her as I'm reading than I did
You're
last time.
indifferent about
It's
her.
not an intense loathing. It went from intense loathing to just kind of minor annoyance kind of thing. So
You're
we're getting
indifferent
there.
about her.
Indifferent,
Indifferent.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a good
And it's
yeah,
more
I
like
can
I
see
just
that.
don't like the trope. I
It's
just don't like the trope less than like the
yeah.
character. So
Okay,
it's just
and
like trope choice.
here's my thing too. I loved Selena. If you if somebody knows the series well enough, they know what I just caught myself from saying. That's all I'm saying. I almost said something different.
Can I say something? Can I? Because I think I have. I think I was spoiled, or I had. I don't know how I put
Let
this
me get my
together.
poker face on because I don't want to
Yeah, get your
spoiler.
poker face.
All right.
So I saw some comment about Aelin, main character Aelin, doing something or not. I don't know what it was. And so
Mhm.
my thing is, I think that she has an alias. I don't know which is her real name, but I think Selena, the main character, is Alis and or Aelin or whatever it's Aelin, some
Mhm.
A name.
Mhm.
And I think that they're the same character. I just don't know which is her real name.
Mhm.
But and then in this one they did say that she would be fighting under an alias. So
Yeah.
I don't know if the Aelin name is gonna be her alias or something, but I have a suspicion that she's gonna have some sort
Yeah.
of name, so it's
That's
either
fair.
her or Aelin. So that's my
That's
thought.
fair. Couple things that I like. I feel like if I had just read Throne of Glass on its own, I probably would have a similar opinion to you about Selena. Um,
Yeah,
just because I fell in love with her because of what happens in the short stories in Assassin's Blade. Like
yeah,
it is like Assassin's Blade is fast paced because they're all short stories, obviously, but
yeah,
it's a progression of a story and her relationship with certain characters. And it just
yeah,
it makes you fall in love with her before you actually read Throne of Glass. So I already had a love for her before I started the book.
yeah, I
And
get
it's
that.
like if I were to take that out, I probably would have a similar opinion about her as you do,
Yeah. I
if
feel
I'm
like
being
for
completely
me, it's
honest.
like yeah, for me, I just prefer guy characters going through trauma more than girls, so I don't know if that would help me or not. I can't say unless I read it, you know? And
Mhm.
then for me, coming from Bloodguard makes that even harder because there was a huge focus on Laith as the
Yeah.
guy character going through a lot, and it
Yeah.
was everything that I ever wanted in a book. And it's like back to some of these typical fantasy books where it's like girl, female empowerment, female warrior, epic baddie female who went through so much and is super strong and powerful. And it just kind of like not quite what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But I know the series does get better, and I know we add more characters and
A
everything.
lot
So that's
more.
what I'm trying to like, yeah. And
Yeah.
it seems like more of a high fantasy, which is
Mhm.
still because I'm in the mood for because Bloodguard had a lot of like good high fantasy world building, race building, creature building to it, and so I'm kind of
Mhm.
looking forward to like a high fantasy.
Yeah.
Um,
You won't see a lot
with
of that in book
undercurrent romance?
I
So,
you won't see a huge amount of high fantasy stuff in book 1. You need to get into like
yeah,
book
I know,
2 or
I'm just
3
saying, like,
before you
it
get
builds
into
up
a lot of that.
to
But yes, it
it
will
kind
build
of
into
builds up
that
to that.
for sure.
Yeah. So, and
All right.
honestly, at this point, I just wanna get this book done. So, it's like a goal it's like an achievement for me, like, I need to unlock this achievement of just finishing Throne of Glass because 'cause it's been so long, and
Mhm.
you've wanted me to finish it, and then there's the blind date with the book, and I have one more book to
Yeah.
read for my reading goal for the year, so it's like, I just need to finish this book, and
Yeah.
I will feel better, you
Yeah.
know? It's like when I
I
write a
get that.
book and I may not want to keep writing it, but I have to
Mhm.
finish writing it just to say that it's done. That's
Yeah.
kind of the same
No, I
vibe for
get
me.
that. Yeah, I
So,
get that. All right. I think
yep.
we're about good. Streams.
Yeah,
Good
unless you had
stream.
anything else to
Yeah.
say about you're making progress in yours. I'm really proud of you. It's such a
Yeah.
long book, so
Yeah, I recorded myself at like 11:30 midnight last like this morning, and I never
Mhm.
posted it on YouTube, but it's quite funny because I it is a spoiler video, but it's quite funny
Okay,
because the
dang it,
one
I
thing
can't watch it.
the one decision that irritated me is coming back to haunt that characters, and I'm like calling it, and I'm like, I hated this decision. It's a stupid decision, and I know it was a stupid decision, and it's
I
just me
can't wait to
ranting for
watch
5
all of
seconds.
your spoiler videos when I
Oh
get
my
there. You
gosh,
know what I'm
yes.
saying? Like
Uh-huh.
my main goal next year is going to be to finish the Throne of Glass series. Like I just got to get through it next year.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. Yes, yes, yes.
yes.
All right.
All right. So, we
We'll
will see
talk
you
to you guys
guys next
later.
time for our week 3.
Yeah. Week 2 is done.
Yes.
All right.
Yep. Let us
Adios.
know how you
Bye-bye.
guys are doing.
Yeah, put it in the
Bye.
comments. Let us know. Bye.